So, today we're going to talk about a tool that's probably hiding in plain sight on your phone right now, Google Lens. Now, it promises to connect our physical world to the digital one, but what does that actually mean? Let's break it down and see if it's really changing the way we interact with everything around us.
All right, so let's just kick things off with a pretty bold question here. Is typing actually becoming obsolete? I know, it sounds a little dramatic, but just think about it for a second. How often are you surrounded by information, on a sign, in a book, on a whiteboard, and the only way to get it onto your phone or computer is to manually and painfully type it all out? That's a huge disconnect, right?
Okay, so for this first part, let's really dive into this idea I'm calling the end of typing. We're going to explore that friction, that gap between the real world we live in and the digital spaces where we get so much of our work done.
You know, the core problem is so simple, but we feel it all the time. The world around us just doesn't have a copy-paste button. I mean, have you ever found yourself squinting at the back of your Wi-Fi router, trying to type out that crazy 32-character password without making a single mistake? Or what about trying to get a complex math equation from a textbook into a Google Doc? It's slow, it's frustrating, and it is the perfect example of this digital-physical divide. But what if your camera? What if it could be that bridge? Well, that's the secret identity of the little lens in your pocket. It's not just for taking pictures of your dog anymore, it's a really powerful visual search engine. It doesn't just see a bunch of pixels, it's starting to understand what it's actually looking at.
And look, this is not some brand new flashy gimmick. Lens has been quietly getting smarter for years. If you look at this timeline, you can see it started way back in 2017, just for Pixel phones. Then it rolled out for everyone, it got way smarter with a homework filter in 2021, and by 2024, it's baked right into the phone's operating system. But the really exciting part? That 2026 Gemini AI integration. That's not just another update. That's setting the stage for a massive leap forward.
Okay, that history is cool and all, but how does this actually help you in your day-to-day life? So in this next section, we're going to look at 3 super common real-world frustrations. You know, those little moments that make you just sigh in annoyance. And we'll see how Lens can solve them, like, instantly.
All right, first up, a classic pain point for basically any student, and let's be real, for a lot of parents too. You're staring at a math problem, you are completely stuck. A calculator might give you the final number, but that doesn't help you learn how to solve it, which is kind of the whole point of a test, right? You need the method. You need to see the steps.
And this is where Lens steps in. It's so simple. You just open up that homework filter, you point your camera at the problem, doesn't matter if it's algebra, calculus, printed in a book, or even your own messy handwriting. And here's the key. Lens doesn't just give you the answer. It shows its work. It breaks down the entire process step by step. It's genuinely like having a private math tutor in your pocket, ready to go 24/7.
Okay, let's jump from the classroom to somewhere a little more exotic. Picture this. You're traveling, you're hungry, and the menu in front of you looks like it's written in an alien language. Or maybe you're just trying to find your way around, and every single street sign is a complete mystery. That feeling of being totally lost in translation, it's a huge barrier to really experiencing a new place.
This is where things start to feel like straight-up science fiction. Lens doesn't just spit out a block of translated text. It uses augmented reality to replace the foreign words live on your screen, and it often matches the original font and style perfectly. It's incredible. That menu, that street sign, it suddenly looks like it was printed just for you in your language. The barrier just evaporates. Okay, one more classic problem, and this one hits everybody from students to professionals. You've just wrapped up a great meeting, a brainstorming session, a lecture, and you have pages and pages of handwritten notes. And now comes the tedious, soul-crushing part, retyping every single word just to get it into an email or a document. Oh, it is the definition of doing the same work twice.
Seriously, this is an absolute game changer. Check out this workflow. You scan your notes with Lens on your phone. It digitizes the text in an instant. But here's the magic trick. You tap one button that says Copy to Computer. Then you go over to your laptop, and boom, that text is on your clipboard ready to paste. The gap between your notebook and your Google Doc just completely disappears. All that friction is gone.
So we've covered the everyday stuff, but let's peel back another layer here and go beyond the obvious. In this section, we're going to uncover a hidden power that a lot of people don't even know Lens has, and it's one that can actually help keep you safe online.
Think about how often we scan QR codes now. It's constant, right? For menus, payments, Wi-Fi, it's super convenient. But that convenience has opened up a brand new door for cyber attacks. It's called quishing, as in QR code phishing. Scammers will create these malicious QR codes that look totally normal, but they're designed to trick you into visiting a harmful website or even downloading malware.
And that's exactly why how you scan actually matters a lot. Just using your phone's basic camera app can sometimes just open a link with no warning at all. But Google Lens is actively safer. Before you even tap to open the link, it shows you a preview of the website address. And most importantly, it's plugged into Google's huge safe browsing database, so it'll actually warn you if that code leads somewhere sketchy. It's like having a little security guard for the physical web.
Okay, for our last section, let's look ahead. Because honestly, everything we've just talked about, that's just the warm-up. The real evolution here isn't just about identifying what something is, it's about understanding its context. The future is a gesture.
I love this quote from an AI researcher because it just nails this shift. It no longer just identifies objects, it understands their context and purpose. Just let that sink in for a moment. The camera's going from being this passive tool that just captures light to an active partner in how we figure out the world.
And you know what? We're already seeing the first little steps of this with new features like Circle to Search. That old friction of, oh, I have to take a screenshot, open another app, upload the picture, that's gone. Now, if you see a cool pair of shoes on Instagram or a building in a YouTube video you don't recognize, you just draw a circle around it. Lens gives you the answer right there without ever leaving the app you're in. It's turning visual search into a totally natural gesture.
And that right there, that leads us to the next massive leap. And it's all powered by Gemini, Google's really advanced AI. Pretty soon, you won't just point your camera at a plant and ask, "What is this?" You'll be able to have a conversation about it. You can point at that same plant and ask, "Okay, but why are its leaves turning yellow?" Lens will combine what it sees, the image, with your question, the words, to give you a reasoned, contextual answer. That's the jump from simple identification to real understanding.
So this kind of brings us full circle, back to that big question we started with. Maybe typing isn't becoming obsolete after all. Maybe it's that our whole idea of what search even is getting way bigger. Once our cameras can do more than just see, once they can actually understand the context of what they're looking at, the possibilities are just mind-boggling. It fundamentally changes our relationship with information. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. If your camera could truly understand the world around you, what's the first thing you would ask it?